Today's question is very simple. Have you ever quit on something you were working on? Be it a hobby you were anticipating to get better at, be it a task that you had been given, or be it something you just wanted to do. If your answer is yes, why do you think you actually got to that point of quitting? Most people think they quit because they're lazy, distracted, or just not disciplined enough. But here's the truth: most people don't quit because of the effort, they quit because of the emotion they encounter. They've hit fear, shame, doubt, discomfort, and because they don't know how to keep standing in those emotions, they give up, they quit. And you might ask, what is the real missing skill? It's not motivation, it's not willpower, it is emotional agility. And today we're going to talk about what emotional agility actually is and how to build emotional agility within you. When you set out to achieve a certain goal, you don't just sign up for the actions. You also sign up for the emotions that come interwoven with the actions. This would range from fear when you step into something new, doubt when the results take longer to materialize than you anticipated, frustration when progress feels invisible, and a feeling like boredom when the initial excitement dissipates. And for most of us, when we encounter these feelings, we assume that they are a sign that something is wrong within us or wrong with us. But that cannot be further from the truth. These feelings and emotions are actually a sign that you are within the process of becoming. So now this begs the question: what is emotional agility? Emotional agility is the ability to feel all these emotions and still keep moving. Not because you are numb, not because you've hardened up, but because you recognize that discomfort is an integral part of growth and not a reason to run away from it. So you might ask, what happens if you do not develop emotional agility? Here's what happens. You might start any goal you have or any task you have being very fired up, being very clear about your goals, even being very committed to your goals. But the very first time it gets difficult emotionally, you start telling yourself things like, maybe I'm not cut out for this, maybe I'm not passionate enough, or maybe this is just a sign from the universe that I should stop, that I should quit. But the problem here is that without emotional agility, you treat temporary emotions as though they were permanent truths. You treat passing emotions like they're fixed facts. And this is when you'll find yourself withdrawing or pulling away, not because you couldn't succeed, but because you are unable to handle the wave of emotions that success requires you to ride. So you now may ask, how do we build this emotional agility? First, normalize emotional discomfort. Start expecting feelings like doubt and fear, not as problems, but as companions, because these emotions are an integral part of the journey of becoming and they are not barriers to it. So the next time you feel fear, don't think to yourself that you are failing. Think to yourself that you are actually in the zone that real change happens. The second thing you should do is name the feeling without judgment, because the language you speak to yourself internally matters a lot. Don't tell yourself you are failing. Tell yourself you feel discouraged because you are not your emotions. You are only the space through which they pass. If you recognize this, you are going to be able to move, because when you make your feelings separate from your identity, you are able to create that avenue for yourself to grow, that avenue for yourself to become who you're actually supposed to be. The third thing you need to do is refocus on action and not emotion. Always remember, you don't need to be confident to take that confident action. You don't need to feel motivated for you to take the next step. Because emotions, yes, they are very important, very integral, but you don't need them in order to act. If you're able to internalize this and live by this truth, you will be able to unlock a new and incredible level of consistency. Fourthly and finally, when the emotions overwhelm you, shrink the tasks. When it gets emotionally hard, emotionally daunting, emotionally overwhelming, as opposed to quitting, shrink your tasks. For example, if you're supposed to go to the gym and work out, instead of doing the whole workout, just lace up your shoes. If you're supposed to complete writing a chapter, just open the document. If you are supposed to work on a given problem, just do the first step. Always remember, progress always shrinks before it grows. As I conclude, emotional agility isn't about suppressing your feelings or your emotions. It's about respecting what you feel without obeying those emotions like they are commands. And this is the difference between people who grow and those who quit. It is not in the feelings they're exposed to, it is in how they respond when the feelings get hard. Have this in mind. You don't have to be disqualified by your feelings, but you can rather choose to be shaped by your feelings by how you choose to react to them. If this video has stirred anything within you, take a moment, pause, and remember, you don't have to solve everything today. You just have to master the art of staying with yourself when things get hard. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Awimbo's Chronicles. I am so excited to have you, and we'll be so happy to see you back in this channel next week, same time, same place.